these otters inside different enrichment objects. Now, these enrichment objects serve as a way to help mentally stimulate our otters. So here at the aquarium, we like to make sure that not only are all of our animals physically taken care of, but mentally as well. So I'll introduce you right now to the two otters. Over there, more on the right side, is going to be Selka, and then on the left is Surrey. So Selka has that slightly more blonde face, and Surrey is going to be holding that red ball right now. So yeah, we make sure to get them all nice and mentally stimulated with these different enrichment items. And you might notice over the whole exhibit, there's a ton of different items as well, not just those balls. They have a couple of different platforms that they can crawl on, and we don't have any ways of training them. We all encourage them to play with these objects and interact with them however they wish to. In these balls, they're going to be served their food, which is a mixture of squid, shrimp, and clam tongue. So you're seeing Selka there right up on that middle window. She's currently rolling with her ball and yeah, there she goes. She's pulling out of the ball with great ease. So we can get a very good close-up view of their amazing, strong teeth and powerful jaws. So out in the wild, the southern sea otter is going to be eating a lot of hard-shelled invertebrates, which are just animals without backbones. So things like abalone, urchins, crabs, and the like. Now, we used to give our otters here on exhibit hard-shelled animals. However, otters are amazing tool users, and which just basically means that they'll use things in their environment to crack open their food. And their favorite tool to use here on exhibit is the acrylic windows, which if we're well lucky, we might actually be getting it's not bashing it against the windows. But yeah, they would take those hard-shelled animals and ram them directly into those exhibit windows. So to prevent a very scratchy viewing experience, we give them those softer-bodied animals up front, and then behind the scenes, they'll get as many hard-shelled animals as they'd like. We also, if you kind of look towards the middle on the deck area, you can see some ice that's kind of working on melting right now. That is something we also give them to help them satisfy that crunching behavior. Another thing that we can observe right now, Self is doing a great job of showing off for us right now, is their amazing fur coats. So she is using that fur coat almost as a plate to have her meal on. Now those fur coats are actually the densest in the entire animal kingdom, with just around 1 billion hairs per square inch. To kind of put that into perspective, that's the same amount of hair that you would find on 10 human heads, compressed down to the size of a postage stamp. That is a very dense fur coat, and they need that because it acts almost like an insulating wetsuit out in the cold Pacific Ocean. Now, unlike a seal or a whale, they don't have blubber to keep them warm, so they rely not only on that fur coat, but also a very fast metabolism. The metabolism basically helps them produce heat when they eat and digest food, and that body heat is one thing that keeps them warm. So to support that very fast metabolism, a southern sea otter will eat about 25% of its body weight a day. In human terms, that's kind of like if you were to eat around 20-ish large cheese pizzas in one day. I don't think I could do that. But yeah, it is a lot of food. So they use that to maintain that metabolism and keep themselves very warm. Unfortunately, that fur... Oh, there we go. We're seeing Selka bashing against that concrete. That's why we do not give them hard-shelled animals. The balls are not very damaging to the windows. Now, as I was saying, one of the things that we had to watch out for is the almost near extinction of the southern sea otter, and that is because their fur coat was deemed highly valuable for that density. So during the fur trade of the 17 and 1800s, hunters would almost get the southern sea otter to extinction. In fact, we thought the southern sea otter was extinct until around the 1920s, when we found a raft of 50 southern sea otters off the coast of Big Sur. Now, through marine protections and mammal protections and conservation efforts by people, we've seen that population grow from around 50 to about 3,000, which is a great first step in the conservation of the species. And something really amazing about our exhibit otters here at the Monterey Bay Aquarium is that they actually get to take a direct part in that conservation. All of our otters here either participate or will eventually maybe participate in our sea otter surrogacy program. And basically how that works is sometimes we'll get a call where someone reports a stranded sea otter pup. We'll go to the scene and try to reunite that pup with its mother. If we're unable to, That pup is brought back to the aquarium, where it is paired with one of our exhibit otters. Oh, there we go. There's some nice bashing over on the right side. The surrogate mother will raise one of those stranded pups and teach it basically how to be an otter. And then we hope to release that pup into the future where it will go off and have young of its own. So we have many of our otters who are actually successful surrogate mothers. Selka herself, who's right there over kind of on the middle right, has raised 7 pups of her own. Suri, we hope to have her in the program in the future. She's just a little bit too young right now.